Hey everybody, it's Annika. For this video, I asked the girls here at Pajama Party Podcast to share a word of advice that they've learned on their journey through self-acceptance. As we explored our personal experiences, we thought about our struggles with accepting our body image, battling our inner critic, and expressing and accepting our authentic self. So join us as we give you a little word of advice. I would like to start the conversation with giving my advice on how I've learned to accept and love my body. You see, growing up in a family of different races, I didn't give any mind to the fact that my skin was different than others. I loved my beautiful dark skin up until I was faced with the horrible ignorance of white public school kids from northern Arizona. They had plenty of expectations of what a black girl should be, and for a while I played into that. But then I began to hate my skin. When I got to college, I was surrounded by a bunch of diversity, and I realized I was hiding my beautiful dark skin from the world. I learned that others will hate who you are no matter what race you are, and everybody is unique and no skin is the same. And being dark-skinned is pretty awesome. I'd like to share one more experience and a word of advice about accepting my body. I've always been a chubby girl. Although I've learned to love my beautiful curves, some days I'm not as confident as others. As a child, I even remember going shopping in the petite aisle because nothing in the junior aisle was able to fit my body. I was like literally bulging out of every pair of pants, and my arms were bulging out of every single shirt I had. I was so uncomfortable. In high school, I became a vegetarian and I did shed quite a few pounds. When I looked in the mirror, I was just a shrunken version of my still chubby self. After a few years of being vegetarian, I realized that I wasn't feeling so good. I was anemic and I wasn't putting enough iron in my body. I started to eat meat again, and I actually took gluten out of my diet as suggested by my idiot gastrologist who thought I had celiac disease. But I don't. The irony of that situation is I started feeling better. I started feeling more confident in my body. For years and years and years, like 4 years, I felt much better. But recently I've fallen off the track. I've gained pounds and I don't feel as healthy. So a word of advice that I even need to follow is it's really important to remember what you're putting in your body. What you put in your body affects not only how you feel inside, but how you look outside. And the first step to accepting your body is ensuring that you're actually taking care of your body. And although it takes time and a lot of effort, the rest will fall in line.
Hi guys, so I'm here responding to Annika's question about how basically I've learned to work with my inner critic, what advice I would give. As I've said like before, I'm pretty harsh on myself and I tend to criticize every little thing I do, and I'm not sure where that comes from. It comes from a lot of things. And one, I grew up the youngest of 5 kids, and I kind of was always baby, and it always seemed to me as though like just because I was young I didn't know better, and so that kind of made me always question my ability, and I always felt like I wanted to prove to others that I was better, but at the same time, the harshest critic was myself. So there's other reasons why, I have an inner critic. It might also be because, I'm kind of a minority. I'm a first generation American, so sort of all these pressures that are put into you, like to, be the best because, of all the expectations or perceptions of you. And, I've grown up like always being like that. And, I think on one hand that's okay. It's always good to be self-aware, to be, motivated to be a better person, but at the same time it's really bad to constantly be bashing yourself. I think it's really important to find that balance, constantly trying to improve, but also rewarding yourself for all the things you've already accomplished, because life is fucking hard, and we go through so many obstacles, and not rewarding yourself, not patting yourself on the back for surviving this long, this far. It kind of hurts your soul, you know. You need that, you know. You need to be good on you, you know. You need to love yourself. And I guess the advice I would give to, you know, if you tend to be an inner critic is not to dwell on it so much. I think I have a problem with dwelling on the past a lot, just the choices I made, how I treated people, what I said. I tend to dwell on that a lot, like somehow, you know, if I might have done something differently, I would have been in a better situation. But either way, I feel like it doesn't really matter. And as long as you have a conscience and, you strive to be a good person, then, you know, perfection shouldn't matter. Just stepping out of yourself is also important. It will humble you, you know, immerse yourself in a community, travel. That always like helps me, you know, understand that the world is so big and, you know, it's chaotic and you can't control it as much, you know. You just gotta live day by day and see where it gets you, you know, and you know, trust that alone will get you to a good place. And, you know, we are gonna always be harsh on ourselves, but just remember what really matters, and what really matters is still being a good person.
So if you don't already know, I'm from Douglas, a super small town, and I don't know, you like basically know everybody somehow, you know, and so like making friends in Douglas is kind of like a unique experience, I'd say. So when I felt like I was ready to make friends here in Tucson, I went out and I did just that, and like from that, like within that process, like I realized like I felt really like unsure of myself and like not confident in myself. Like I was self-conscious because like I wanted to like fit in, you know, and like make a friend group. But so for the first time in a while, I felt like I didn't fit in, and I don't know, like I like felt nervous around like these new friends and everything. And anyway, so like, I started to wonder why I felt so nervous around these new people, and it's because I wanted to be accepted and fit in. And I don't know, from that experience, I learned that I didn't really want to expend energy on worrying if people like me or not, like ever again, you know. So I don't know, I guess if I learned anything from that experience, which I did, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from that experience, and honestly, it's really important to remember to be yourself and to be cool with being yourself. And I also think it's really important for you to be open with people, especially when like you're forming your relationships, like about your intentions. I feel like just kind of like speaking that out loud like relieves a lot of uncertainty and like anxiety, for me personally at least. I don't know, but yeah, so making new friends and moving from a small town to Tucson was an experience where like, I felt like I didn't fit in, and from that experience, I honestly think I've grown in a way that will allow me to like form better relationships in the future and be more confident in myself. So yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to our advice video.
We hope it was helpful to you.
To hear more about our journey through self-acceptance, listen to part 2 of Pajama Party Podcast Trilogy on Apple Podcasts and SoundCloud.
Links below.
Links below.
Links below.